Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking Shadows of Yesterday, the psychology of healing. We're going to take a really calm, careful look at why emotional trauma tends to stick around. We'll explore exactly what's going on in our minds when we're carrying the heavy weight of the past. Let's just jump right in.
So, have you ever found yourself just sitting there quietly, minding your own business, and then boom, you're suddenly totally overwhelmed by something that happened years ago? It makes you wonder, right? Why does one painful memory still affect you so deeply after all this time? Why does the past still control your life? It's an incredibly frustrating reality, isn't it? Carrying this painful memory for years, feeling like it's literally still got its hands on the steering wheel of your life long after the actual event is over and done with.
And here is the massive paradox we're dealing with. The past is over. Technically, the events that hurt you are entirely behind you. They aren't happening right now. But somehow, incredibly, this finished past just keeps dictating your present reality. It totally shapes how you're seeing the world today. It's like the events themselves are in the rearview mirror, sure, but their impact, that impact is sitting right next to you in the passenger seat. Okay, let's dive into this. Our memories, they don't just sit passively on a dusty shelf in our brains. They act more like really thick lenses that alter how we see our present. Just think about it. One betrayal can make you stop trusting people entirely. A single major failure, that can make you absolutely terrified of ever trying again. And one really profound heartbreak can fully convince you that love always ends in pain. Your entire present reality is being filtered through these very specific past pains. Now, when you're stuck in these kinds of loops, man, it is so easy to feel broken, like your own mind is secretly out to get you. But we really need a perspective shift here, because here's the honest truth. Your brain isn't trying to hurt you. Actually, all that fear, that hesitation, those massive walls you've put up, they're really a sign of a highly efficient, evolutionary psychological mechanism. Your brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the actual science behind why this happens. It's all about the brain's defense mechanism. The rule your brain follows is super simple. Every painful experience becomes a lesson, and it's remembered with crystal clear precision so you don't get hurt again. Deep down in your brain, you've got this thing called the amygdala, and it acts like a blaring fire alarm. When you go through trauma, the amygdala catalogs that pain as a severe, life-threatening danger, essentially hardwiring you to avoid it at all costs in the future. It's just pure survival.
But here is exactly where that survival tactic seriously backfires. Because sometimes that protection becomes a prison. In its completely desperate attempt to keep you safe from ever feeling that specific pain again, your brain starts building walls. And the tragic, unintended consequence of those defensive walls is that they don't just keep the bad things out, they keep you locked inside. So how do these prison walls actually show up in your day-to-day life? Well, you stop taking chances. You avoid meeting new people. You stay rigidly, safely tucked inside your comfort zone. This psychological prison basically creates complete stagnation. And the most vital thing to understand here is that you aren't doing this because your future is actually dangerous. No, you're doing it because the past still feels entirely real to you. Your amygdala is reacting to a past threat as if it's happening right here, right now, basically forcing you to shrink your world down to a tiny, safe, controllable size. To break free from that, we have to resolve a really core conflict. We have to untangle the events that happened to us from the actual identity we carry forward. And this brilliantly illustrates that separation. Think about your memories for a second. They're a part of your story, right? They're chapters in your book, but they are not your identity. They're not who you fundamentally are. See, when we fuse our identity with our trauma, we become the heartbreak. We become the betrayal. Realizing that these are just things you experienced and not the core of your being, that is the very first major step toward escaping that prison. Let's speak directly about where your power truly lies, because here is the absolute truth of the matter. You cannot erase what happened. The past is already written in ink. There's no changing that. But you hold complete, 100% authority over the narrative. You can decide what it means. You are the author of the meaning attached to your trauma. So, does a past failure mean you're inherently flawed, or does it mean you're now experienced and a whole lot wiser? You can't change the events, but the meaning you attach to them, that is entirely under your control. And because you have that control, every single day you wake up, you're facing an active daily choice. You can choose to keep reliving yesterday, staying tucked away within the safe but incredibly stifling walls of your brain's protective prison, or you can start creating tomorrow. It's this profound contrast, right? Between being stubbornly stuck in a defensive posture or actively moving forward into the great unknown.
Healing isn't just some passive event that happens to you. It's the active daily choice of picking the unknown future over the familiar past.
So, the crucial point is understanding what this process actually looks like in practice. Healing begins when the past stops deciding your future. Listen, it doesn't mean the past magically disappears like it never happened. You're probably always going to remember it, but true healing, that's about removing the past's authority over your tomorrow. The memory's still there, sure, but it gets demoted. It is no longer the CEO of your decision-making. It's really just an experience kept on file while you finally take back control of your life's direction. As we wrap up this explainer, if you take absolutely nothing else away from our time together today, let it be this. The past may have shaped you, but it doesn't have to define you. Let that sink in and really empower you. Yes, you have absolutely been shaped by the fires of your past, without a doubt. But the final form of your life, that's up to you. You choose your future. You get to decide your identity. If this explainer helped you understand your own mind even just a little bit better today, I highly encourage you to follow the source of these insights and subscribe to Noetrix for more profound psychology and self-growth videos. But right before we go, I really want to leave you with one final question to ask yourself today. If your past was no longer making your decisions for you, what is the very first thing you would do tomorrow? Keep learning, keep choosing tomorrow, and we'll see you next time.